Guys, this video is brought to you by our friends at Ridge. This incredible wallet is light, it's sleek, it's industrial, and you already know it's seriously changed my entire pocket game. Now guys, now is the time for you to upgrade your wallet. Check this out. Ridge wallets hold up to 12 cards, plus all the cash that you're gonna need. There's over 30 colors and styles. That includes carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Right now, I'm sporting the 24 karat gold wallet and I love it. It's also made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. It is the best wallet you can buy. And I don't want you to just take my word for it because there's over 50,000 five-star reviews. I will admit I was skeptical at first, but once I tried it, I never went back to my old wallet. And for you guys, there's no pressure. Test this out for 90 days. If you don't love it, send it back. You will get a full refund. If you decide to keep it, there's a lifetime warranty. Go to ridge.com/Chael. Be sure to use the promo code Chael. That's going to get you 10% off your order, or just click on the link below. Can Sergei Pavlovich be a star? That's the topic of today. And what do you guys think? And if you think yes, and I think that is your answer, how do you get him there? Don't tell me go beat people up. He's beaten up 6 people, including in main events on the worldwide leader, by the most impressive way that you can do it, in the most impressive round that you can do it, repeatedly. So don't tell me that. Obviously, something else has to be added. What is it? I think he's a good-looking guy. I mean, I'll throw that at you. I think that there's some like a boyish charm to what he says. Do you guys agree with me? Right, he's got the smile and he's kind of cute on the microphone. There's something that looked like kind of cuddly about him until you see him start to. I mean, I just feel like he has the appearance. I feel like we're really ready to be open to Sergei Pavlovich, not to mention he's got a shelf life. This always gets missed. It happens to us every single day. Everyone misses it. Fans miss it. Promoters miss it. The media never gets this one right, which is the amount of fans don't leave. They go somewhere else. I remember the day that Ronda retired, but I could go back further than that. I remember when Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz, the 2 biggest, or nobody headlined a pay-per-view that wasn't named Tito or Randy. They both left in the same week. And I just remember the media's questions always being the same. There was rumors that Conor was leaving, always being the same. What are you going to do now? You have no stars. You lost your biggest star. They always say that. There's not a reduction in fans. They just go somewhere else. A star is another way for saying a guy that sucks all the air out of the room. And there are people that do that. With all due respect, you're a lot better off to be at a press conference with anybody else than me. You're probably not going to get any questions. And if you do get questions that I think should have come to me, I'm going to grab the mic and I'm going to answer it anyway. And you're going to sit there looking stupid because you don't want to go toe-to-toe with me. That's the truth. You move me over, you can bring somebody else in. That's the truth. Now, Vince McMahon was very disciplined with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar had a very specific look, though, and it was terrifying. He had more muscles than anybody ever seen, a damn sword right on his neck. He was terrifying looking, but Vince had a belief. Monsters don't talk. And for years, Brock Lesnar said nothing and headlined WrestleManias. Was the biggest draw in the industry without saying a word. So it is not a matter that you have to say clever things or you have to trash talk. I've heard people listen to me and then think that that's the message I give, but I don't. I'm asking you in terms of an art, if we're going to call this martial art, which is kind of stupid, but if we're going to do that, art is a form of expression. There's no greater way to express yourself than to speak. It's quite literally what separates humans from animals. What should he say? What should he do? You know what? Hold that thought. My father was a working man, but he was on top of the bill. My dad was the boss. He owned the company. He had to make sure he had a check for 30 different people every Friday at 5. And one thing that my father would do is if you ever came in to give him your 2 weeks notice, he would write you a check and he would walk you to your truck and let you know you were now done. Now, he didn't do that to be cold. Workman's comp claims go up 70% after somebody tells you, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. It was just a good practice that once they're out, once they're no longer part of the team, get them a check, make them whole, and send them home. Walk them to the car so they don't fall on the way, and send them home. But it's a very important practice that you have, and we have that. That practice I just laid out for you for my father, we have a version of that within MMA. Yeah, we do. The most foolish thing you could ever do for your last fight is prior to having it announce that it will be your last fight. You can go back historically and look at all the guys that did that, even as recently. Most recent example would be Shogun. Most recent before that would be Frankie Edgar. If you're going to do a last fight, you get the fight that you want. You then make the announcement. If you make that announcement and then you get the fight, you're not going to like who the opponent is. You don't shine anybody up on the way out. It's promoting 101. And it's bigger than all of us. There is no promoter that shines somebody up on their way out the door. It's the way it goes. You pass the torch. It's the right thing to do. But I'm sharing this with you because we are being told. Apologize, I'm getting a call from Eddie Alvarez. Eddie and I were supposed to do a Zoom, and we've missed each other. He's calling me. So, Eddie, if you see this, I'll call you right back. We've been told that this could be Jon Jones's last fight. Now, that's just simply not a marketing ploy that has ever been turned to. So I believe it very much. Or at least I believe that the author of the statement, who happens to be Dana White, believes it. And Dana laid out very simply what his reasoning was, which is there'll be nothing left to prove. And Dana's an old school boxing guy at heart. That is a massive theory and ideology and practice within the boxing world. We don't see it as much in MMA, but I understand the roots to the concept when Dana made the statement. I understand it fully. And it's true, there'd be nothing left to prove, at least not for anyone that's come before him or anyone that was here when he was here. The next generation, yes, there would be questions, but I understood it. So once the statement was made, I had to look at Stipe. I have to, and go, well, son of a gun, Stipe's in the exact same situation. If it's true for Jon, or if we believe it to be true, then it has to be true for Stipe, or at least we must believe it to be true. Which means if they fight, the winner's done, the loser's done. They both walk. If they apply to the old school boxing rule, which is you beat the guys that came before you, beat the guys of your time. The next generation, let them have at it. That's everybody's theory. The only person to go around that theory is George St. Pierre. And I don't think George did it on purpose. It just worked out that way. But it is why when you have a GOAT conversation, George wins it. And I've heard people go back and forth, and there's some damn good arguments. I've heard them make them. But everybody settles in on George. George beat everybody of yesterday, everybody of his time, including beat him twice. But then George had beaten the guys that came behind him, right? That's what Johnny Hendricks represented. Johnny Hendricks, after George, went and became champion and represented that new era. So now George had covered 3 different eras. I got to give George credit, but I'm admitting to you that I don't think that was by design. It's just the way it worked out. Most guys won't do that. And do you understand the concept that I'm making? I mean, I've made 2 points, right? We think that Jon's next fight is going to be his last. My father had to let guys go after they gave their 2 weeks. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Jon Jones is not in a financial position to walk away. I'm not being a jerk, by the way. He's not in a financial position to walk away. So we have Jon for another fight. Not maybe, 100% we have him for another fight. So if that fight isn't signed, why are we accepting his 2-week notice? Why are we not giving him the next generation, breaking him into the fold? I mean, once you break into it and you beat the top guy of the next generation, you stick around, you beat up everybody else too. It would be the perfect way, and with the information that we believe to be true, the only way we keep Jon Jones around. Aren't we looking to keep him around? I don't like Jon Jones, and I like the sport a lot more when Jon Jones is here. Man, I got to be fair. This is a rare talent at everything. I mean, I like his interview. There's not a doofus like that. Do you guys remember when Dan Quayle was vice president? Like, the late night comedians didn't vote for him. They wouldn't encourage you to vote for him, but since you did and he was in, they loved it. Their job was a lot easier. My It's easy. When Jon starts doing interviews and starts cutting promos, I come over here, boy, I get a whole bunch of clicks. Then he fights like nothing I've ever seen. I've got no problem admitting that, but if we're looking to keep him around and we're worried that he's not because of the next opponent, why do we give him that opponent? Fair question by me. Simple question by me. Why would we give him that opponent? If we're convinced that as soon as he's got the ball, he's going to run off and do it that way. If we're convinced of that, but we've got one piece of leverage left, it's a bout agreement that we know he's going to sign. Because he's a prize fighter, needs the prize. If we know that, I'm confused. So when I talk about, can we make Sergei Pavlovich a star? We need Sergei Pavlovich like now in ways that will never be true again. They will never be true again if the information we have or the information we believe that we have turns out to be true. What would you possibly do with a Sergei Pavlovich? Do you attempt to bring in other dinosaurs and you re-sign Francis back just for a one night only and watch the 30-year-old kid get rid of the at least 37-year-old man? I'm just, in all fairness, throw any name that you want at me. Why would you possibly book a match if you believe that one of your shiny trinkets, right? I get that Jon Jones, from an ability to draw, I get that he's not Adesanya. I understand these things. I get that he's not McGregor. I get that he's not Chandler. He's not Gaethje. I can't put him down much further than that. He's top 5 guy. Top 10 guy for sure. Do you not like the deal that you made? Was it a little bit too strong? Do you want him to walk? I mean, I'm open to those things. It's not my business. You don't have to answer it. I just share for you. My father was in construction. This wasn't multi-million. It wasn't tough stuff. But if you were on your way out and you declared that, he would speed that process up to right now. I could not begin to tell you why, if we believe that to be true, but we know he's got to do one more, we wouldn't make that the one more that would either set up and pass the torch or do away with the stigma that I'm not sticking around for those guys. I already beat your king. Bring me whoever's next. It's a win-win, unless I'm missing something.